What's up guys, Joey here of Tech, and by this point, we've taken a look at the entire Huawei P30 series. Or have we? We've taken the P30 and P30 Pro for a full review, but let's forget about those for now and focus on their mid-range sibling, the P30 Lite, also known as the Nova 4e in China. It aims to give you a small taste of the P30 series flagship features, but at a more affordable price. Now, given this premise, does it really belong to the P series? Or is it more of a Nova device with a glorified name? Let's find out. In the hands, it surely does feel lighter than the P30 and P30 Pro, while still managing to keep a glass front and 3D curved glass back. It looks really good, honestly, though still very prone to fingerprints like most smartphones nowadays. It's got the same glaring gradient design as its siblings, at least for this peacock blue color. You also get a triple rear camera setup like the P30. The only obvious visual difference is that the P30 Lite has a fingerprint scanner at the back, which means no, it didn't inherit the in-display fingerprint scanner. On the right, we have the power and volume buttons that are made of plastic. They're clicky but quiet, and they're easy to reach. Also, it's kind of a bummer that they didn't include that red power button like the P30 and the P30 Pro have. The secondary microphone and hybrid dual SIM tray are on top, while down at the bottom are the headphone jack, primary microphone, loudspeaker, and the USB Type-C port. Yes, you heard me right, Type-C port in a mid-range phone. Looking at the screen, you get a 6.15-inch IPS display with a resolution of 2312 by 1080. Also, like the P30 and P30 Pro, we thankfully get a pretty minimal dewdrop notch that houses the selfie camera, call speaker, and LED notification light. And while the P30 Lite's screen is slightly bigger than the P30's, the bezels, especially the chin, are slightly bigger. The display has good contrast with vibrant, punchy colors, and it gets bright enough when you need it to. It's not an AMOLED screen, which would have been a great move for Huawei to include in this phone, but it'll suffice for content consumption and daily use. Moving on, when it comes to the speakers, audio is clear, but it's not as loud as I was expecting it to be. The lows are pretty much missing as well, but the clarity in the mids and highs is appreciated. So for software, the P30 Lite runs Android 9 Pie skinned with EMUI 9. EMUI's icons and interface isn't for everyone, but it is what it is. And if you like it, I won't hold it against you. But by default, apps are arranged in multiple home screens, but you can also get an app drawer via the settings. As for navigation, this can be tweaked in the settings as well. You have the options of either the traditional 3-button navigation, or instead opt for gesture-based controls for that full screen experience. Now under the hood is a Kirin 710 chipset, 6GB of RAM, and 128GB internal storage. That's a pretty good offering for a mid-range device, as you can surely expect smooth performance, even if the Kirin 710 is almost a year old at this point. Though we were kinda expecting that by now we would have a new mid-range Kirin chipset. For everyday tasks, we have no problems at all, and the device can handle even heavy games. Though expect a few frame drops when using high graphics settings. Take a look at the synthetic benchmark scores we got. Meanwhile, facial recognition and fingerprint scanning are relatively fast and accurate. Packing a 3340 mAh battery, it takes about 2 hours to get the P30 Lite fully charged. And that's just around average, or even below average when you factor in Huawei's supercharge that's found in the P30 and the P30 Pro. Nonetheless, the device can last almost a whole day if you're not a heavy user. In the PC Mark battery test, we got a result of 13 hours and 30 minutes. And in our standard video loop test, it didn't stray too far, as we were able to get 13 hours and 7 minutes. These results aren't bad at all, but they don't reflect practical usage. Again, we can get almost a whole day of moderate use. Now let's check out the cameras. You get a triple camera setup at the back. Specifically, a 24-megapixel primary shooter, an 8-megapixel ultra-wide one, and a 2-megapixel depth shooter. For selfies, you get a 32-megapixel shooter. Unlike the other two phones in the P30 series, the Lite version doesn't have Leica glass. Photos from the main lens come out impressive with good overall quality and detail. Colors under natural lighting look stunning. However, the story takes a darker turn when we get to low light conditions. Small details are lost, overall quality is noisy, and a bit muddy. The night mode feature does help a little bit, but even then noise is still apparent and colors look washed out. For the ultra-wide camera, photos are good as well. They're not as impressive as the shots from the main camera, but details are still sharp, which is important since you're capturing more space. Taking a look at selfies, photos actually come out pretty good, with or without the AI beauty mode turned on. Although, as with Huawei phones, the post-processing can be a little too much for some. There are also a variety of bokeh options that work nicely too. For videos, the device can shoot up to 1080p at 60 FPS. Stabilization of any kind is not present, but quality is passable. Overall, the cameras are a strong feature for this phone to stand out in the mid-range market. It's not exactly a taste of what you can get with the flagship P30s, but they're good for the price. And for 16,990 pesos, it's quite a competitive offering. You get smooth performance thanks to the Kirin 710 and 6GB of RAM, lots of storage, decent cameras, good battery life, and a premium look. It's a great deal. However, to answer the question I asked in the beginning, the entire premise of this review, is this device worthy of its P30 name, or is it more of a Nova 4e? I think it's the latter. Not that it's a bad phone, but when you look at the P30 and P30 Pro, and then look at the P30 Lite, I don't know. You'd expect more. It's the odd man out in the series, and it definitely belongs more in the Nova lineup. But alright, that wraps up this video. What do you guys think about the Huawei P30 Lite? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video, please do drop a like, subscribe to our channel for more content, hit that bell icon so you don't miss any future uploads, and be sure to visit yugatech.com for the latest tech news and reviews. This has been Joey, this has been the Huawei P30 Lite, and I'll see you in the next one.